How's it going, guys? Amazing scenes at the Allianz. Bath securing the Gallagher Premiership in fantastic style. Both teams really fought it out. Bath controlled a good portion, especially of that second half. Leicester did manage to come through with a big try from Ilione, but what a game. What a game. Honestly, I felt this was going to be a close game. I felt the kicking of this game was going to be so important, as we did see, especially with Ben Spencer's kicking. And Andre Pollard, he was just a little bit off today, but honestly, big performances. I want to break this game down. So like, subscribe, all the usual BS, and let's break it down. So, Leicester started off so strong. I could have easily seen this game going Leicester's way. They were so dominant. They were controlling. They really put Bath to the test. Bath really had to defend very well. But Leicester did control a vast majority of that first half. But ultimately, the power, the strength of Bath did come through. Ben Spencer's kicking, Finn Russell's ability to play off that mark was just on point. Ben Spencer obviously opting for the high balls, which they were so effective, rather than those long balls that he is so good at doing. He did attempt a couple here and there, fell a little bit short off the mark, but Ben Spencer had a stunning game. Finn Russell had a brilliant game. Ojimo had a brilliant game. Like I say, this guy, that pace, he can just break ankles so easy. You put him off the mark, as we saw with his try. The work that Finn Russell had into Ojimo, and he is rapid. He is so rapid. But at the same time, we're talking about performances. We cannot not talk about Guy Pepper. Guy Pepper was brilliant. He did have his try chalked off, and I think it was the second half, but his strength, his speed to just hold off the player was just phenomenal. If everything went his way, that was a well-deserved try, and what a try it would have been. But I think it was Muir. He ended up fumbling he ended up knocking it on, but what a try. All I saw was that Superman pose, grabbing the ball, really reaching for it, getting it under control, but ultimately dropping, and then the ball just slipped out of his hands. Good call, but unlucky for Guy Pepper. Very unlucky for Guy Pepper, because that would have been a brilliant try in another big game that he has performed in, and he just seems to be putting in those performances left, right, and center. Ojimo played well. Ben Urbano played well. Leinster. I'm waiting for that game. Don't worry, we're going to cover that. Bath, they were just, especially in that second half, they continued on that form, that strength, that physicality into the second half, and really just put on the pressure. They continued that form of the second part of the first half into the second half, really putting on that pressure. And like Ben Spencer, he was so crucial. Those high balls really caused them a lot of problems. Like I say, Andre Pollard was a little bit off the mark. Van Poortvliet had a good game, but again, a little bit off the mark as well. Unfortunately, Leinster's players ended up dropping, and then it allowed Bath to get just that extra little bit of lead on them. And ultimately, Leicester really struggled to get back into the game. They did manage to get back into the game, especially late on with Ilione, but it was unfortunately a little bit too little, too late. Things didn't fall Leicester's way either. I do feel a lot of the performances were a little bit lackluster. And let's just talk about Dan Cole for a second here, because the reception he got when he came on was absolutely phenomenal. What a way for Ben Youngs and Dan Cole to just end off their careers. It would have been lovely to see them walk away with a Premiership title on their backs as well. But Dan Cole has to do something. No, he has to do something. A couple minutes after he comes on, he hits into Finn Russell so hard. I swore Finn Russell was going to end up in the changing rooms. He didn't want to fall. He just got hit so hard. What a way for Dan Cole to end off his bloody career. Nice little highlight there. That was that made me chuckle when all I saw was Finn Russell just get absolutely demolished. Like that was just. I'm surprised he doesn't have a broken rib. Dan Cole is such a big human being, though. Like he is, he is about as thick as he is wide, as he is tall. Sorry. So, that was that was a big hit on Finn Russell. But honestly, Ben Youngs, Dan Cole, legends of the game, legends of Leicester. It's a shame that they have to eventually end up retiring, especially when you have a character like Dan Cole. I'm definitely going to be watching their next show. I want to see, highlights, and I hope they talk about that Finn Russell incident. But that was so worth it, even though Leicester got a yellow, and I think that impacted them a lot, especially in the second half. It I think that probably was that break that Bath needed to really secure that, to secure the win, and they made the most out of it. But in Dan Cole's head, I'm pretty certain he's saying, "Yeah, it was worth it." That was a bit of enjoyment on Finn Russell, but honestly, both teams, they put in brilliant performances. I can't lie. This was an amazing final to watch. I can't wait for Leinster versus the Bulls, but amazing performance by both teams. I had Bath to win. I had them to win by like a penalty, at max a try. I wasn't expecting this to be a complete blowout. When I did see Bath kind of taking the game away, I was like, if Leicester do not do something quickly, things are going to get out of hand. They made necessary changes. They came back late in the second half. They really started to put that pressure on. But again, ultimately, it was a little bit too little, too late. Big performances by Bath, though. Well-deserved champions. They dominated the Premiership the entire year. They deserve every single second of it. And Bath are going into next season champions, league leaders, and standout performers. So it's going to be interesting to see their signings, who's going to be leaving next year, how they're going to how they're going to you know recoup from this, especially with Michael Chaka, and all of his antics and so on. So it's going to be interesting to see how things go. Honestly, I do feel if things had gone Bath's way, we could have seen a complete run out from Bath, especially if that try from Guy Pepper would have been awarded. But then again, it's that those fine margins. I feel the ref was right to do what he did. I feel it was the right decision, and ultimately, Bath did win either way. But brilliant performances, brilliant performances. So, guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think this was a just? Do you think this was a just scoreline? And big it up to Dan Cole with that smash on Finn Russell. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and catch you guys later.